Is anyone there yet? I know I'm a little early, but just wanna see if there's anybody there. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat, please. All right. I'm just gonna wait then. There we go. Hello, hello. If anyone's there, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know too. I would appreciate that. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, check, check. Let me know in the chat when you're there, please. Thank you. We're gonna have some fun, hopefully. 1, 2, 1, 2. Anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Anybody there? Let me know in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. One, two, 1, 2. Check, check, check. One, two. Hey Charlie, you can hear me? Okay, cool. So it's working. Am I loud enough? Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm live. Just gonna wait for some people to show up so I can start, go over some rules and show you the template and explain a few things. So if you're there, let me know. And the trading session will start at 1 a.m. You can also see that on the charts here. You can see this grayish area. I have a session indicator on that that tells me exactly when 1 a.m. kicks in. And that's the time to take trades. You can see it here previously. See this gray area here? This is the money zone. And that's when a lot of money is going through the market, and that's when we are going to look for setups. We usually don't not trade in between those money zones. Even though it looks like there's a setup possibly developing. Let me see. Yeah, I don't like that. All right, we're just gonna wait. Also, just FYI, I am an ex-smoker. I quit smoking about 9 years ago, but I did switch to vaping. So if you hear some vaping noises, that's what it is. I would assume that the microphone is going to pick that up. In case you're wondering. And I also apologize up front. I'm also keeping an eye on a trade that I'm in on another account. So I might be a little distracted here and then. Just so you know. But for now, we're just going to wait until 1 a.m. until we get into the session. Until then, if you have questions, if you're there, anything, let me know. I happily explain what's going on here on that template. Like I said, if you're there, let me know. This is my first time going live on YouTube, so I hope everything's working. My roommate just checked for me if I'm audible, and apparently I am, so just waiting for you guys to show up. If anyone's out there, let me know. Yeah, that's better. Might be getting us set up here. Anybody's out there, let me know. By the way, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to sell you a course. I don't have a traders community that you can sign up to. I'm not asking for any money. This is just me trying to make it in the markets and hoping to help you guys make it too. That's all it is. So I'm not expecting anything from you, in case you're wondering. So this is not a scam or anything. I'm not asking for anything. Unless you want to tip me. I don't even know if that works. I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. But like I said, I'm not expecting anything from you guys. I'm not trying to sell anything here. Maybe later. I don't know yet. But not for now. Again, if anybody's there, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Everything looks good, so also let me know if I'm loud enough. Also, when you're here, let me know so I can explain how this works. It's still a work in progress, but you know, I want you guys to know what's going on here, so you don't just watch me doing something that you don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't help you. See what's happening here. open Telegram here. That would affect the stream. All right, anyone out there? Let me know in the chat if you're there. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Welcome, welcome. All right, I don't even see who's there. That's weird. I thought we would at least see how many people are there. Can you hear me clearly? Am I loud enough, or? Awesome, awesome. Oh, you're driving. All right. Yeah, yeah. You don't want to do that. All right. We got about 25 minutes left. Just so you know, if you hear some weird noises, that's me vaping. I used to smoke. I quit smoking 9 years ago, so I switched to vaping. Just e-juice. No CBD or anything like that. I don't do that. I don't judge, but I don't do it. So basically what we're looking for here, I'm just going to sort now so that people know. You can see those blue dotted lines. That's a TMA band, default settings. It's a form of volatility band, and we want to see price come out of it like it actually did just now. And then I also have this white band on there, and I also have an EMA, and the green line is the middle band of the TMA band, the blue lines. Whenever price comes out of the TMA band and my EMA is crossing the middle band like it does now, we have a possible setup. We also want to see support dots. I prefer to see a support zone, which would be displayed in blue. Ideally, we want to see a bounce off of it like we had up here. Price came out here, EMA crossed over the green line. The support zone was forming. We get a bounce, we get another try into the support element zone and get a bounce off of it. And once that is all set, we wait for a confirmation on my indicator down here. Once we get the confirmation and it turns red, we enter the trade if the stop loss is less than 30 pips. Stop loss goes right above the red zone in this case here. If it's more than 30 pips, we don't enter. We wait for price possibly to come back, which 80% of the time it actually does. That's basically the setup. We take 2 positions. My trading size, I have a lot size calculation and compounding plan here. We start with $1,000, stop loss 30 pips. I'm risking 10% per trade. So my lot says I can use this 0.33 on gold, divide that by 2, so we're looking at 0.16. First position gets closed out once the red line crosses the green line, which it did here. It just shifted and it hits the white line. That's our exit for the first position. Once we hit that, we put the stop loss for the second position on the red line, which is an EMA. And if this turns green, which it did, we close the second position too. Also, when price crosses the EMA and closes below it, we set our stop loss to break even. That's basically the rules. There's a little bit more to it, but just so you guys know what's going on. And again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. So right now we have price out of the blue zone, out of the blue band, and we have support dots. That's a good indication, but what we're waiting for is a blue zone to form, which would confirm the supply and demand zone. Once that is confirmed, ideally we want to see a bounce back into the zone, which this could have been a bounce back. We just don't see the zone yet. And then we wait for a switch to green on the bottom indicator. And once that candle closes, we can enter the trade if the stop loss is less than 30 pips. Which right now we're looking at roughly 16, 17 pips stop loss, so we're still good. And that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty simple. Also a little trick, when the white bands are both above the EMA, we don't even have to look at it until one of the white bands crosses the red EMA again. So you can ride this whole trend up. And once you see this cross, you pay attention to the cross of the green and red. Once that happens, once we have a clear cross, now you're looking for an exit, and your exit would be at the white line. So you set your profit target right at the white line, which was basically up here, and you can see you literally get out at the top. We can't just blindly jump in here, but we definitely can get out here. I want to have my confirmation down here that it is indeed a trend reversal, which it was, and then you can enter here and go the other way. That's how it works. So here we had one white band above and one white band below the EMA. So that's on a very strong trend. And like I said, we had a cross here before. This band shifted down, which it does, that's fine. But we did have a cross here of the red and green. So as soon as that crossed over, I put one of the positions down here. And that was my other account. This is a brand new account. Closed it out, and then when we had the switch to green, I closed the second position. And then technically we had a blue zone here too. We could take this trade all the way up to here. It's a counter trend trade, but it works. That will be about 25-ish pips. It's not bad. So anyway, if you have questions, let me know, by the way. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm also not really good at explaining, but you see once the trade happens. Right now, like I said, we have one of the conditions fulfilled. Price is outside of the blue dotted line band, TMA band, that's what it is. So that's the first condition. We got the support dots, that's the second condition. And now we hopefully wait for a blue zone to form, which would be even better. And once that happens, we wait for the bottom indicator to switch over. Here you can see the red EMA has crossed the TMA middle line, so that's good. So everything looks good. We're just waiting for everything to fall into place. Let the trade come to us. Gotta be patient. And besides, we're not even in the zone yet, but still, I mean, that close to the zone, I will probably take the trade. But for now, we're just waiting. Doop-de-doo. And the EMA, like I said, that's one of the standard indicators that a lot of traders are using. That's what I was referring to in my video. I use it in an unconventional way that it actually crosses the green line and confirms the trade, which is basically you're taking a trade below the EMA to go up. Which, if you listen to other traders, they tell you that if price is below the EMA, we're only looking for shorts. If it's above the EMA, we're only looking for longs. And that is correct in a way, but I'm actually looking to catch a big chunk of the whole trade trend, not just a few pips here and there and a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. I'm looking for big money. If that makes sense, with a really good risk reward ratio. I mean, if you get in here somewhere, set the stop loss down here, cash one position out here, and then the second here. Now we're looking at, what is that, 14 pips and 55 pips and 41 pips for the second position. That's definitely a lot better than 1 to 2 or 1 to 1.5. Sure, you need a little bit more patience, but you know what they say? The Forex market transfers money from the impatient people to the patient people. So once we get into the zone, we should see a little bit more action. Here's a setup right in the beginning of the session, well, right in the beginning, about an hour and a half in. We can see the price coming out of the blue zone and the white zone. That's a perfect setup right here. It goes into the demand zone, which that zone was already there, which is even nicer. We get a bounce off of it. Now we're waiting for that bottom indicator to come in, which it actually did somewhere around here. As soon as that one flips, I'm in. Stop loss is less than 30 pips, so that qualifies. And then we would get out right here. The EMA didn't quite cross here, but it did cross here. And then as soon as we hit the white band, we're getting out. And you know, that's 70 pips with a 15 pip stop loss. That's not bad at all. And then here we get another signal going down. Right on this candle. Boom. And we get another bounce off here. And that went all the way up to here. That was the exit. Well, first position was right around here somewhere. Second position up here. So you can see that this literally allows you to have a tiny stop loss and take a good chunk of the trend and have a really, really good risk reward ratio. Not just a 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2. I'm talking like 1 to 4, 1 to 5 on average, if not even more. All right, let's see what's going to happen here. Still have no blue demand zone, supply zone. And again, one of the rules that I have is if the stop loss is more than 30 pips on a 5 minute on gold, I won't take the trade. If price comes back to me after I get an entry signal, I will take the trade. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Can you hear me? I'm just babbling here by myself. Yes, sir. That's the plan. Let's get those pips. So, awesome. So as you can see on the screen, we're getting into the trading zone, which is the gray zone. This is just a session indicator that flips to gray at 1 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. That's my trading zone. And I'm going to explain it again. What I'm looking for is price to come out of the blue dotted lines. That's our first condition. Then we want to see the support dots, which they repaint, so you got to be careful. You can't just blindly take a trade here. So keep that in mind. Then we wait for the supply demand zone to pop up. In this case, we're looking for a long, so we're waiting for the blue zone to form. And then ideally we want to see a pop back into the zone, which we had up here. And if that happens, it's definitely a valid setup. And then we just wait for the confirmation down here, which we got on this candle here, right in this area. And then the stop loss goes above the zone. And also make sure that the stop loss is not more than 30 pips. Those are the conditions. If it's more than 30 pips, we don't take the trade. If price comes back and goes on the, in the 30 pip range, stop loss range, we can then take the trade. Does that make sense? It's a very simple system. And also another confirmation is the red line crossing the green line. That's another condition that needs to be met. So in this case, we have price out of the zone. It's going into the zone now. Still can take the trade. We do have the cross on we have the EMA crossing the middle line of the TMA band. We got the support dots, so now we're waiting on the supply and demand zone. And then hopefully price coming back into it and bouncing off of it. And the bottom indicator will flip to green. That would be the last confirmation. Patience. Let's get them pips. Excuse me. Also, I think I said that before. I don't know who was here and who wasn't. I'm an ex-smoker. I used to smoke a long time. I quit smoking 9 years ago and switched to vaping. So if you hear some vaping noises, that's what it is. And it's no CBD oil or anything, not that I'm judging, but it's just regular e-juice, so to speak. In case you're wondering. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask questions while we're waiting here for that setup to form. Okay, yeah, we're starting with $1,000. Good question. I made a compounding plan. The pip value on gold is $10 per pip for one lot. So I put that in here. We got $10 for the whole lot. Our stop loss is 30 pips or less, so I put 30 pips in here. We're risking 10% per trade. I mean, we want to buy a Tesla at the end of the month, so we got to risk a little more. However, I'm very confident that that system actually gives you a lot more winners than losers. And our target for the day is 70 pips, which on gold should be easily possible within one trade. So I'm confident you can make more than 70 pips on gold. and then you just put the number in here. On the first day we have $1,000. 10% risk with 30 pips stop loss is 0.33, and we divide that by 2. We're taking 2 positions, so in that case the first trade would be 0.16 and 0.16. But we don't get out at 70 pips. We stay in as long as we can. I mean, if we make more, we make more. Even better. And then on the right hand side you can see the account balance, how many pips for stop loss, and then it tells me lot size again if I want to change that, and then also how much money until 1 million. That's a joke. I'm not gonna make it to 1 million, but you know, I mean, if you can make 100K in a month, I'm happy. I'm not complaining, trust me. Does that make sense? Once we win a trade, we just change the number here. Put the new account balance in, and it's stop loss 30 pips. And it's going to tell us the next lot size that we're using. I found it somewhere on the internet and just adjusted it. I added a little lot size calculator here, and just here we're gonna keep track of the trades over the next month. What was the lot size? How many pips did we make? What was the total profit? The pips are calculated automatically, so you just have to put in the lot size and the profit, and it's going to tell you how many pips you made. Over 90%, which is crazy. So I don't mind risking 10%. And the system is hard to backtest because those team A bands shift. So if you look back, it always looks better than it looks when you're trading. Those bands shift up and down and adjust. The white ones are a little bit faster, the blue ones are a little bit slower. So it's really hard to backtest, but oh look, we got our support zone. The blue zone popped up, so that's another confirmation. Now ideally we want to see price coming back, because up here, let's see, it's still 17 pips. But our last confirmation would be now the bottom indicator switching to green. Ideally I want to see it coming back in before it takes off. If you know the market maker theory, then you heard about the W's and the M's. So if you see a W down here, that will be even more of a confirmation. But if this indicator switches to green and we're still under 30 pips, I will take this trade. Yeah, 90% is crazy. The indicators I'm using a TMA band, that's what it's called, on default settings. The white lines are, that's called an ATC something. I can give you the template, don't worry about it. I don't mind giving that out. Like I said, I'm not here to try to make money from you guys. I'm not asking for anything. Just trying to help each other out. That's all it is. Yeah, did you see my other video about my introduction to the challenge? The last video I posted on, I think yesterday or the day before. Did you watch that video? You could see my my FX book account for the testing. Yeah, look, I'm not here to make money. Like I'm just trying to make it in the Forex market like anybody else. So if I can help you out, I will help you out. That's what we do, right? Yeah, in that video, I showed the MyFX book account from the testing phase, and even testing with really rudimentary rules, I still managed to pull over 70% a month. That's crazy. Look what's happening. It's coming back. That's what I want to see. That would be a grade A setup if it comes back into the zone. So if it comes back into the zone and then takes off and this indicator switches to green, I take the trade. And we are way below 30 pips here. Yeah, this is 15 pips, so that's perfect. Like I said, technically we can take the trade once this indicator switches to green, but ideally I want to see it come back into the supply zone here and then take off. It doesn't always happen, but let's see what price does. Yeah, bro, this setup is nuts. Like I said, over 70% a month. That's freaking unheard of. And that was me just not even having a set of rules or anything, just by intuition, more or less, but it worked. Well, first of all, I can program. When it comes to expert advice, I have no experience with that. Second of all, those indicators are, like I said, they're shifting indicators. They're not, what do you call it, non-repaint. They're not. They're fluid indicators, which a lot of people are, oh, I want no non-repaint indicators and I want my buy error, my sell error. The problem with those is, or the advantage with repainting indicators is that they adjust to the market as price happens. A lot of people, you know, that just want to have a non-repaint buy and sell arrow and that's it. Well, guess what? They're not going to make it because the market is constantly shifting, changing, and you need indicators that adjust to the market as it happens. So, you know, and those, like I said, because they are shifting and repainting, I think they're going to have a hard time making any A out of it, if that makes sense. I mean, we can talk to Rowan, maybe he can look into it. There we go, it's coming back down. In a perfect world, we want to see this coming down here, forming a bullish candle, and on that bullish candle we want to see that green switch. That would be a perfect setup. Yeah, did that make sense? Like I said, I'm not an expert. Like, I'm not a pro trader. I just come up with stupid ideas. That's all it is. Yeah, and that account that you saw in that video, that was at 3,500. I started that account with $1,000 too, and that was 2 months of trading, and it went from 1,000 to 3,500 in 2 months. Now that I have those rules, I expect actually a lot more in profit than just 70% a month. Technically, if you have the right night, like where was it? Let me go back here. See this here? We had a supply zone underneath here, and then we get the switch to green. That was your entry. You put your stop loss underneath here. Actually, that's more than 30 pips, so you gotta wait for price to come back. Price does come back here, and now yeah, right around 31 pips. That's still okay. You could enter right here, and then look what happens. And you stay in that trade until here. That's 180 pips. We're only looking for 70 pips with a 30 pip stop loss. This is nuts. And then look what happens here, right, you know, not even an hour later, you get another entry going down. So right around here, that was just at the verge. You could have set a pending order, it would have triggered you in at 30 pips stop loss. And then you go all the way back down into that support zone. That was 200 pips. So we're talking 300, almost 400 pips in one night with 2 trades. And my exit strategy is either once the red EMA crosses the green line, as soon as price hits the white band, you get out. That's it. That's the end of the trade. If you're not always going to get the top and you're not always going to get in the bottom, that's fine. You know, if you're looking for that, then trading is not for you. But here would be my exit right there. That's 180 pips right there. I'm only looking for 70. And then, like I said, if you want, you get a really nice setup here and you make another 200 pips. Yeah, once price hits a demand supply zone right here, once it goes down there, I take profit. I don't wait for the cross, I just take profit here. I mean, if I'm up 200 pips and I hit that zone, I'm out, if that makes sense. Well, I'm not using a lot. I'm using, right now I'm starting with 0.33. So that would be 330 a pip. But you know, 400 pips, 330 a pips, that's over $1,300 on a $1,000 account. You just more than doubled your account in one night. See how crazy this is? This is ridiculous. Anyway, so we're going into the zone. Yeah, we're already, it's 1 a.m. and it looks like we're getting the push back here. That's what I want to see. If it goes back into the zone, it pushes off of that, and then we get the green, we're good to go. Let me see where 30 pips is, so I just know how far I can go, because sometimes they take off. So 30 pips would be right around here. So if price doesn't cross this zone and this switches to green, we can take the trade. Actually, I'm lazy. I'm just going to do one position. Like I said, this is a work in progress. We can definitely define those rules a little bit more down the road. Exactly. And then once the trade is closed, I put the new account balance in my spreadsheet, and it's going to tell me the lot size for the next trade. I mean, if it's less than 30 pips, I'm happy, because then I don't risk actually 10%, I risk less. But up to 30 pips is acceptable. So you're not always risking a full 10% of your account. That would be just the maximum stop loss. And I know it's a lot, but like I said, if you have a 90% win rate and make a 1 to 10 on your freaking trades, you know, I don't know. I used a 0.33. It's just, for me, it just means that I have less of a loss if it hits my stop loss. I mean, you could, but I mean, if you have a 15 pip stop loss, I think I'm actually exceeding the max lot size that I can take with $1,000 on gold, if that makes sense. Especially on gold. Now on Forex pairs, you might actually get away with it because you have, they don't require as much margin. But on gold, the margin requirements are a lot higher than they are on Forex pairs. But gold also moves 100, 200 pips. You know. Alrighty. What's going to happen? We're in the zone. You can see the gray now. The gray zone is now in the background. It's just that little line here because the candle went into the session, so it disappeared. Well, it's also a 5-minute chart. Like I said, that's just my rule that I set for this trading strategy. If the stop loss is more than 30 pips, I won't take the trade. However, I will set a pending order within reach, and sometimes price comes back and hits it. I mean, how many times do you get into a trade and then immediately it goes against you for 10, 20 pips before it actually takes off? I'm just taking advantage of that. You know, I want my stop loss to be less than 30 pips. If it's not, I won't take the trade, period. And if it's within 30 pips, I will take the trade on the 5 minute. Now here, let me see, here, you get the entry signal. It's probably on this candle. Now if you look down here, that's 33 pips. So I don't take it, but look what price does. It comes back in here. We get a bounce off the zone. Now I have a 21 pip stop loss. I take this trade. Boom. Now you don't have to take every trade. If it doesn't set up the right way, you skip it. Wait for the next setup. You gotta be picky with your trades. So it looks like we're coming back into that zone. Like that. And like I explained before, I don't know if you heard that before, but you know, once price takes off and the white band is adjusting a lot quicker than the blue band. But if you see both white lines above the EMA, you don't even have to look at the trade until the white line crosses back over the EMA. So all this wouldn't even bother you. This up and down, you would just stay in that trade until you see this. And then you wait for the crossover here, and now you're looking for an exit, and boom, here's your exit. You don't even have to worry about that. Now the blue band, the TMA band adjusts slower, so you never know where you're at, but the white band is pretty quick with adjusting. So if you see that over the EMA, you're good to go. That's a green light, you just let the trade run. And then once it crosses back down the EMA, you pay attention. Once the EMA crosses the green line, you really pay attention. And then once it hits the white band, you get out. Done. Trade done. And in this case, it happens actually to be right at the top, which is freaking fantastic. It's not always like this. Like here, well, you're not right at the top. You were a few pips higher here. That's fine. You know, you're not always going to get the top and the bottom. It's just not possible. But you know, if you get a setup like this and the white band just moves across the EMA, you're good to go. Just let it run. You know, if that happens, all you need to do is wait for that red line to cross back over the green line, and then you're looking for an exit, and your exit is right on the white band. Boom. It gives you some crazy trades. It's ridiculous. You know, sometimes you only get smaller trades like here, but sometimes you get those. And sometimes you get 2 of those in a night. And that literally triples your account in one night. That's how crazy that works. And yes, like I said, 10% is a little bit high, but you know, I know it works. Why not if I can? I still have my stop loss. Worst thing is that you know, even if I lose a couple trades in a row, yeah, I'm 20% down, but in the next one I'm gonna make 80% on my account. It's fine. I wanna make enough money to theoretically buy a Tesla Model S Plaid by the end of the month. So we're talking 140K. And if it works, I actually should be able to reach this goal, as crazy as it sounds. So let's see what happens here with this trade. At 2 a.m. is when the volatility kicks in a little more. That's pre-London, and then 3 a.m. is when London opens, my time. And then we definitely gonna see some movement here. But this is actually looking really nice. So we got the cross. We got the supply zone, we got the support dots, we got the bounce off of it. Now we're going back into it. If we see a bounce off of it and this switching to green, I'm totally in. Yeah. And if you know, up to here, that would be 30 pips for the stop loss. Yeah, up to the upper line of that red box. So anything below that, we can take the trade and, you know, add a few pips just to stay below the white line. So we're still looking at 23 pips here. Instead of 30 pips. So we're well within the limit. No such thing. I mean, it would help. But look at this. We got a support zone here. What do we have here? There's a bullish engulfing candle. Look what happened. If you would have gotten into that trade here, you would be a little nervous now, wouldn't you? Doesn't mean that bullish engulfing candle is not right. You know, it might just bounce off and never reach down here underneath the zone, which is what I'm hoping it's gonna do. But it's not guaranteed. I rather like to see a W into this supply zone here, and then it bouncing off of it and this turning green. I take that over any candle formation. You can make it a rule. Like I said, you can make it whatever you want to make it. If you want to include candlestick patterns, be my guest. I just think that they don't always work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You know? And I try to stay away from conventional anything that you get taught, because I explained that in my video too. 95% of traders are losing money in the first few months. So why would I follow those rules that are obviously not working for everyone? So I came up with this crazy idea, and hey, it works. So all right, so now we have touched the supply zone. That's nice. So now let's see if that holds. Always remember, when you trade, you react to the market. You don't predict. So we wait for the reaction. And if we see what we want to see, we get in. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Chikiru, did I say that right? I probably totally botched that name, I'm sorry. Chikiru. Yeah, that could happen too, but honestly, I would, if my stop loss is well below 30, I would add a few pips and add my stop loss on the white line here. You know, give it a little bit of room to breathe. Especially in gold, you know, gold can spike sometimes. They just spike it up real quick to grab the liquidity, and then they take off. Exactly. Now look at that. And guess where the candle is closing? Right above the supply zone. They're grabbing all that money here. I bet you. Oh, look at that. There's a big supply zone here. Maybe we even make it all the way down here. Now that would be a really nice setup. That's kind of similar to what we had here. Look at this. Look at that reaction. That would be a nice trade. So obviously this zone is not valid anymore because we broke through. So we're waiting. See what happens. Like I said, gotta be patient. Ideally, I want to see price out of the white band on top of out of the blue band. That would be really nice, kind of like what it did here. If you can see that, not only did we come out of the blue band, but we also came out of the white band. That's the ideal setup. So let's see what happens here. And see how those dotted lines move. That's why I said you cannot just rely on that. If you rely on the dotted lines and you're bullish engulfing candle here, you would have just lost the trade. So I don't care about candlestick formations and all that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't pay attention to it, like a big rejection or something like that, or morning star, whatever it's called. I do pay attention to those candlestick patterns, but I don't make it a must. And it's not in my rules. So you can put that in your rules if you want to. If it makes you feel better, I don't. I'd rather go by supply and demand, and it works. I don't know where it's gonna go. Like I said, I only react to price. I don't predict. I wait for my setup to come to me. But I think price is actually trying to move down to that big supply zone here. The blue zone. I think it's trying to push down. Now if you get a bounce off of that and then a confirmation, I'm definitely in that trade. I mean, look at that last reaction. That's crazy. How much was that? That was a 140 pip move. If you catch 100 pips of that, you're making 330 bucks on 0.33. That's over 30% on your account. And that's another thing. You don't always have to catch the whole move, you know. If the move is 140 pips, you get 100 pips of that, you're fine, you know. Like if you get a full candle close like here, let me go back. See this here, you get a full candle close out of both bands and you're up 100 pips. By all means, take profit. You know, nothing's stopping you. Take profit up here. Even though you know it's gonna go a little bit higher, but I mean, you know, how much is that? Let's say you wait for that rejection here and you get in here and you see the candle close, that's over 100 pips. Take it and run. That's over 30% on your account in one trade, you know? And your stop loss was what? 20 something pips? 22 pips? Not even? And you make 105? Take it. Take the money, go to bed, have a good night. Or wherever you are, I don't know where you guys are located. Where are you guys located? I'm in Florida, United States. I'm originally from Munich. Just curious. I mean, you don't have to tell me, but here it's 1:20 a.m. in the morning, so. Australia, nice. That's on the other side. So you close the Rohan, right? I think he's from Australia too, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, yeah, that's right, Dubai, I forgot. Man, you good. Trading there, you pay no taxes, right? Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, man, I owe Rohan a lot of, I mean, with the A channel and everything, that definitely helped me a lot. He's a good man. He's a good man. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out to Optimize FX. If you guys don't know that channel yet, you want to check it out. Optimize FX. It's Rohan's channel. He's testing EAs for us and shows test results every week, so you can make your own decision. There's also a Telegram channel, so check him out. Shout out to Rohan. Love you, brother. Oh, it's expensive there too? Damn. Just met someone, Kevin was from Singapore. He said living expenses are really high in Singapore too. It's like all the taxes you save, you pay in living costs. Okay, so we're pushing further down. Yeah, I think they're going for the supply zone here. Maybe even take those traders out underneath. Wouldn't surprise me. Let's see what happens here. Patience is a virtue, right? Let's see what the big picture says here. Yeah, I mean, technically we are still in an uptrend. So if you zoom out and you see all those blue supply zones, that means you're in an uptrend. Even though short term we are in a downtrend right now, because you see all those red. But if you zoom out, you can clearly see that we are in a uptrend on gold. So let's see what happens here. Or it could be that we're forming the next stair step. So the next zone above here, somewhere in this area. That could be a possibility too, and then going higher from there. Basically the next step. Demand, supply, yes, I'm sorry. Demand zone, you're correct. I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not a pro. But yes, that would be a demand zone, and the red zones are supply zones. You're absolutely correct. Like I said, I'm not a pro. Just trying to make money. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, like I said, it could be that it forms another demand zone here, and then the next step up. Either way, it would be nice. We can take a nice trade up to the upside. Yeah, like I said, ideally you want to see the price pushing out of the white band too. That would be a really nice setup. Something like here. If that happens, then you gotta pay attention. And then you would get your entry signal probably on this candle here. This shifts a little bit to the bottom indicator. So it probably gave a green light here, but yeah, that would be 35 pips, so I would not take the trade. But then you see it coming back into the zone, actually deep diving into the zone and rejecting from here. So you can definitely take the trade here if you're patient enough. That's why I said sometimes the trade just comes back. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, then if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't want to play along, I don't want to play with it. Yeah, I guess I got lucky. That's pretty crazy though, huh? Like start with $1,000 and then 2 months later you have 3,500. That's crazy. I'm happy with my EAs make 10% a month. That's already great. Yeah, but this really works, you know. Demand and supply zones, I think that's the way to go when it comes to trading. Just gotta be patient. But now my other trade. By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but I set up the let me show you real quick, the MyFXbook account for this account. So it's all set up. 1K 30 days challenge. No trades yet. Balance $1,000. This is real money. You can see us here, LQDFX. No trades yet. Just the deposit of 1,000. And it's already verified. So I posted the link in the description of my last video if you want to check it out. So you can follow along here on that challenge. If you want to, that's up to you. Oops, sorry. Put this back in place here. Yeah, right, 10% a month, that's not bad at all. I mean, what Warren Buffett is aiming for 20% a year. And he's a multi-billionaire. Yeah, but like I said, with this strategy, you can literally like triple your account in one night if you have the right setup and the right movement of gold. And that's the craziness of this system. And you're still not over risking or over leveraging or anything like that. It's getting a little jerky there. Could be that there's traders trying to push it down while the bank is buying them up. This could be a demand zone here. Every time you see this jerky movement, and we're expecting a stair step here anyway. Like I said, let me zoom out here again. We are in an uptrend, so this could be the next stair step forming here and then going higher. So let's see what happens here. Move up a little bit here. Nah, I don't like this view. This is better. You guys see that, how the price jerks around here? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I know that I have a 90% win rate, why would I not risk 10%? And like I said, it's not always 10%. It's the 10% would be on the full 30 pips. I'm trying to stay under 30 pips, so technically it's less than 10%. But I take the lot size accordingly to a 30 pip stop loss and 10% risk. If that makes sense. So it's not always a full 30 pips. And that's why I try to stay underneath 30 pips. And believe it or not, 70% of the times that trade does come back and trigger you in on a pending order. So you actually get a better entry that way. Now, if you have a 50-50 win rate, then yeah, I definitely would not risk 10%. That would be crazy. Because you lose 5 trades in a row, you're down 50%. Also keep in mind that as soon as, if you look up here in the last short entry, as soon as price crosses the EMA here, my stop loss goes to break even immediately. If it comes back from there, that setup was not valid anyway. But if it stays below the EMA, we're going down. So my stop loss goes to break even as soon as I break that EMA here. So I try to protect my capital too. So it's I do proper risk management and everything, even though I take a higher percentage risk, if that makes sense. And then as it hits here, I would probably take off half and then move my stop loss to here above the EMA. And then when I get a green signal, I'm out. And then you can take the next trade here. I actually missed that one. But that was outside my trading zone anyway. Does that make sense? Like, yes, it is 10%, but it's actually not. And it also gives me a little bit of room to leave for the stop loss. Like, I'm not gonna put it right underneath the zone, or if my stop loss is 15 pips, I'm gonna move the stock all the way down here. I'm not leaving it open for the banks to grab. Well, technically you can trade anywhere in the zone. The zone starts at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 2 hours before London Open. I don't know what that is in your time. I'm not familiar with Dubai time. And it goes all the way to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a 12-hour shift. 2 hours before London, and then 10 hours after London. So we're going well into the New York session. I think it's like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So you could just wake up in the morning, my time, wake up in the morning and take this trade. But you should stay in that zone, because that's when the money goes through the market. Everything outside of that zone, does it work? Yes. I actually got out of this trade on my other account. I was in that trade while I was setting up YouTube here and everything, because I actually did take that trade on Friday. But if you stay within the zone, first of all, you have a lot more money. There's a lot more liquidity in the market, and that's when gold really moves. I mean, this took forever, and this was quick, if that makes sense. And my session indicator is set to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And 1 a.m. my time is 2 hours before London opens. That's when my trading zone starts. Okay. Yeah, it will be on YouTube. When I'm done streaming, or done trading, I'm gonna stop the video and leave it on YouTube. It's not gonna be the most professional video, but at least you can see what's gonna happen. I'll see you later in the chat, and you have fun. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Or 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Dubai, that's awesome. So you could get up at 8 a.m. in the morning and do the whole shift until 8 at night if you wanted to. Yep, see you later. Once again, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Man, I should have stayed in that trade. All right, gold, what you gonna do? Make up your mind. Oh, my cat is sleeping here on my chair. She's so cute. Well, my roommate's cat, but she's a cutie. Her name is Lily. And she's purring along and sleeping, all curled up. Yeah, I think we're gonna. This is the next supply demand zone. Demand zone. Let's see what happens here. Definitely looks suspicious to me. Okay, we got a rejection candle here. That's nice. Let's see if we get a demand zone here. They're really trying to push it down to this old demand zone. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, just so you know what I'm looking for, at this point I'm looking either a push down into the demand zone and then a rejection and a bounce off, and we're going up the other way, confirmed by my bottom indicator here. Or I'm looking for another blue zone to form above this last zone and basically building the next stair step up. If you look back, if I zoom out a little more, if I zoom out, you can see that we are in an uptrend, and these are the stair steps, so to speak. Here was another one, here was another one, and maybe this is the next stepping stone up. So either way, bounce down into the demand zone, a bounce off of the old demand zone, or a new demand zone building up here, and then we're going on higher. That's what I'm looking for here right now. And we are in the trading zone, so let's see what happens. Let me pull this up a little bit. So you can see the old demand zone here, and possibly be forming a new demand zone here. Either way, that would be a nice setup. Let's see what happens. Can't believe I missed that trade. Can't catch them all. Yeah, like I said, as I explained earlier, I try to stay within that grayish session indicator zone, which is 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 12 hours. That's 2 hours before London opens. I try to keep my trades in that zone because that's where most of the liquidity goes through the market, and gold moves the fastest. You can take a trade out of the zone. I'm not saying you cannot, if the setup is there, but I prefer to take trades in here. I mean, you can see those movements are ridiculous and fast. Look at this. This was a really quick trade. And this was a monster here. If you get in here on that rejection, even just up to here, you can basically call it a day over 100 pips. And then, go about your day or go back to bed or whatever your time is. So nuts. Okay, it's trying to push down again. Let's see what happens. Excuse me. Looks like nobody there anymore. I'm all alone. That's okay, we're still gonna make that money. Yeah, and just as an explanation, I know I said it in the beginning, but just to repeat, if price is below the blue line, I'm looking for a buy setup. If price is above the blue line, I'm looking for a sell setup. Right now we are below as we go into the session. So automatically I'm looking for a buy setup. And I'm patiently waiting for the buy setup to form in some shape or form. I do like that. That looks like a lot of indecision and price trying to go down, being pushed back up. We can see that similar here. There was a lot of up and down, and then we built a zone, which was the next stair step. That's what I was trying to explain here. And then we get a reaction off, and the price comes back down, and we get this rejection candle here. That's definitely a setup I would take. And stop loss here, that's 23 pips. Even if you go down to here, that's only 27 pips, so it's well within the 30 pip limit. That would be a nice setup. And then look, it just takes off. And honestly, like I said, if I would take that trade, I was not in it on Friday because I didn't trade on Friday, but if I would be in this trade as soon as price closes above the blue line and the white line, I probably would call it a day and take my money and run. I mean, that's over 100 pips. But you can't stay in that trade until at least you see the band crossing over the EMA, and then the EMA crossing above the green line. Now that's when you look for an exit, and you exit right at the white band, so you could technically write this all the way up if you wanted to. You know, that would be about 120 pips. If you're patient enough, by all means, you know, you got the setup there. Stay with it. Take it all the way up there. And then you get a sell signal right here. That's the one I actually took on Friday in my other account. And I closed that earlier this evening, right around here somewhere. I think I woke up as it went up here. I closed it right here somewhere. So about 30 pips. And I completely missed that trade here. I was playing with YouTube and the streaming and making sure everything's working, so I kind of missed that trade. But again, it was outside of the trading zone that I prefer anyway, so it's not a big deal. However, now we are in trading zone, so now we're paying attention. Let's see what happens. Is anyone still there, or am I alone? Type something in the chat if you're still there. Oh, looks like I'm alone. Okay. That's fine. You just leave me all alone. And I'm sad. Oh, you're still, hi, you're still there. I'm just joking around anyway. I'm just babbling, waiting for the setup to form. Hey, what's up, Rowan? I give you a shout out for your channel, by the way. I appreciate you letting me post that link in your Telegram chat. So I gave you a shout out earlier to your channel and what you do, and that I owe you and all the good stuff. I'm glad to see you here. So since you just came in, yeah, so far I'm looking for a buy actually. So just so you know where I'm coming from, it's kind of like similar to the setup that I sent you once. If price is below the Team A band, which is the blue dotted line, I'm looking for a buy. If price is above the Team A line, I'm looking for a sell. And I only trade in the zone from 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that session just started about 45 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago. So now I'm looking for my entry here. So we are below the blue line. And when you zoom out, you can see that we are actually long-term in an uptrend, because we have a lot more supply, a lot more demand zones here than supply. So technically we are still in an uptrend. So I'm looking for the rejection of the old demand zone, or I'm looking for the next stair step to form here and then going up, if that makes sense. That's what I'm looking for right now. And let's see what happens. Yeah, not yet though. I'm still waiting for a couple confirmations. Yep, there you go. Like I said, I'm looking for either a rejection off of that old demand level, or the forming of a new demand level here, a new blue box, and then a rejection off of it, and my bottom indicator to switch to green, and then I'm in that sucker. Also, I have a rule, I don't know if you heard that before, Rohan, my stop loss is not more than 30 pips. If it's out of 30 pips stop loss, I'm not taking the trade. But if that happens, usually, from my experience on gold, it does come back into the zone and bounces off again, and that's when you can catch it. Kind of like what it did here. On Friday, you can see that we had a bounce off of that zone. The blue box formed, and then price came back in, got rejected on that candle, and that put me under 30 pips if my stop loss is underneath that demand zone. So my stop loss was 22 pips. I would take this trade in a heartbeat. So I'm looking for a similar setup here. I hope that makes sense. Oh, you mean the bottom indicator? The green, red one? Here, let me just pull up all the indicators so you can take a screenshot. Like I said, I'm not trying to make money off of it. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You can see all the indicators I'm using right here. The bottom indicator is called SEFC 089. No idea what that actually is. Here, this is the indicator. These are that it only has a period input. I do like that 32 period though. You can play with it, make it a little faster, a little slower, but I would not recommend to do that. They said 32 for a reason. You know, if you get into a trade here, technically you can ride it all the way until it turns red again, so all the way up here, if you wanted to. That would be 120 pips something. I can package it up and send it to you in Telegram if you want, with the template and everything. So all you have to do is copy it into your indicator folder and template folder, and you're good to go. I don't mind doing that. I can do that tomorrow in the morning if you want me to. Like I said, I'm not trying to scam anyone or taking money off of anyone. I'm just trying to help each other out, that's all. Okay, I'll package that up tomorrow, and I think, Jakiru, you're in the Telegram. I know you're from Telegram too, right? From Rohan and Optimize FX. You're in there too. I remember you telling me that you were in that group, I think. Yeah, okay. Jericho, there you go, yes. Yeah, I package that all up tomorrow and then send it to you in Telegram, or I just post it in the channel. Then you guys can download it from there. Is that okay? Yeah, none of those indicators is paid for, so I don't mind sharing those. Just indicators I found over the years and put together, that's all it is. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks like a demand zone forming here. Look at that. There's a lot of indecision, a lot of wicks. That sure looks like a demand zone here. So this looks like the next stair step, and in an uptrend, stair step up, we're going up. So that's my expectation here. I just need some confirmation. Let's see if we get the confirmations. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. Never ever try to predict the market. It's not gonna work. You're always gonna be wrong. All you can do is react to market. So you gotta let the setup form. Don't jump in too early. You know, this was a nice setup here before when we had the demand zone down here. We had the bullish engulfing candle. I was talking to old trader about that from Dubai. He's in our Telegram chat too. And he's like, yeah, there's a bullish engulfing candle and we had a blue demand zone here and price was underneath the team A band. Yeah, it looks nice, but you know, if you go by the candlestick pattern and put your stop loss underneath here, well, guess what? You got stopped out right here. So it's not worth it. You gotta wait for more confirmation. More confirmation from me means not only do I wanna see a demand zone, I wanna see this switch to green. I'm not even looking at it before, and then possibly if it already took off, I want to see it come back within a 30 pip range of my stop loss underneath the box, so I can take the trade. So like here, you know, we had that W forming, it took off, we got the demand zone, but you know, once it turns green up here, you're looking at 33 pips, so that's out of range. But then it does actually turn around, dive into the demand zone again, and then on that rejection candle, that would be my entry right there. And then you have a 22 pip stop loss, which is awesome on gold. And then, like I said, even if you take profit here, which you can, you know, candle close outside of the blue and the white band, that's definitely a good position to take profit, or at least partial profit if you want to ride it all the way up. You're looking at 105 pips with a 22 pip stop loss. So that's a 5-to-1. And if it doesn't do what I want it to do, like I said before, if you don't want to play along to my rules, then I'm not playing. Simple as that. Meaning I skip that trade and wait for the next one. Simple as that. You know, you don't have to take every trade. You don't have to be constantly in a trade. All you have to do is wait for the good ones. And when the good ones come along, that's when you put some weight on a trade and take your money, you know. Grab your money on that. And if you have a 5-to-1, you're risking 10%. We're talking about 50% on your account. You know, that's substantial. Other people don't make that in a month. You do 2 of those a night, and sometimes it happens. Last week we had one night. Let me scroll back again. I said that earlier, but look at this day. We had one trade going up over 100 pips. I think that was 140 pips, and then 200 pips coming all the way down again. You know, with an under 30 pip stop loss and risking 10% on that, you just tripled your account, more than tripled in one night. That's how crazy the system is. But heck, if I make 20-30% a night, I'm happy. You know, if I'm in this trade and I'm up here at 105 pips profit, you know, that's what was 22, well, 30 pips. So that's over three times my risk. That's over 30%. That's 33% of my account. I'm happy with that. I call it a day. Sometimes you have those crazy nights where you make more. Okay, looks like we got a rejection here. It's taken off. So now we want to see a blue zone. And then we want to see this turn green and then see if we're still within 30 pips. If not, we wait for price to come back down. If it doesn't, we wait. That's how it works. Like I said, it's fairly simple. It's the same setup over and over, like up here, the sell setup here, just so you can see. We got a rejection here from that zone. We had the red zone forming, and then it pushed back into the zone, and we got another rejection, and that was 15 pips, and just to here, that's over 50 pips. And then you could have taken another trade here. Got a nice rejection candle here. This red supply zone formed, and then we got a signal here. This turned red right on this candle. Boom. That's another, what, 80 pips if you would have written it all the way down. That's the power of those supply and demand zones. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Oh, I just saw your comment, Rowan. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah. You definitely want to see it turn around. But like I said, it looks like that's just a retracement, and we're gonna get a continuation up here. This is really weird setup with the live chat and all that. You have to, like, I mean, I have 3 monitors, but still. Okay. Yeah, I'm like I said, I try to specialize in gold because I just like the movement of gold. It just moves like crazy. You know, 100 pips on a 5-minute chart is no big deal for gold. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to catch some pips. But Chiu is a good mover too. So I'm not going to lie. That's definitely one of the nicest pairs to trade. Okay, so we got a rejection, and now we're pushing back into the zone. Now I just want to see a confirmation that there actually is a zone by definition. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a blue box here, and then if you get another candle coming out of that zone. And the color change here, then we're good to go. Or it pushes down into the old demand zone. That could happen too. Either way, I'm definitely looking for a buy setup here. Let's see what it does. Also, always be cautious right before London open, because London likes to play around and do stop hunts. That's what London is known for. So you gotta be cautious. Another rejection here. It's 20 pips. 33 up to here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is looking more and more like a demand zone here. Let's see if we get the blue box. About 15 pips. The only thing I'm weary about is London opening at 3 in about less than an hour. So if I would take a trade here, I would like to see a really good entry so I can possibly move my stop loss underneath that demand zone here. And that would be nice. You definitely do not want to have your stop loss right underneath price before London opens. I can tell you that. They grab that money in a heartbeat and run. Let me see what GU is doing. Yeah, we had a tiny demand zone here. Yeah, there was actually an entry here. Yeah, we had the W here and then a confirmation here. That's at 5 pips. I would like to see it to break the EMA here. This is a 36 EMA, by the way. Yep, there it goes. If it closes above the EMA, that's a buy setup right there. I don't like it because it's right dead center in the middle of the TMA and the white band. Not a fan of that. I prefer to have it outside. But it looks like it's getting rejected here, so probably not the best setup. I wouldn't take it. Like I said, I prefer my price to be below the blue line and the white line, kind of like here, above, way above both lines. That's where I like to see my entry here. You know, you get something like this, and then wait for the pull back into the band and take your entry here. Stop loss up here. That's a way better entry here. That I don't like. It's like smack dead in the middle of everything. But I mean, like I said, I could be wrong too. You know, it looks nice. It's just not my kind of setup. It's not what I was looking, what I look for. Hey, you're back. No, I did not take a trade yet, but I'm waiting to see what's happening here. We have the old demand zone down here, and officially we are in an uptrend. I want to zoom out again so you guys can see this. We have a lot more blue zones than red zones. That means we are in a long-term uptrend. And as you can see, in an uptrend, we are making stair steps. Blue zone, blue zone, blue zone, blue zone. So 3 things can happen here at the moment. We can either come down into the old demand zone and then push off of it. That's one possibility. This could form a new stair step here, which it honestly looks like at the moment. There's a lot of indecision, a lot of wicks going on here. That's usually a good indication that banks are buying everything as traders try to push it down. So it could form the next stair step here, or it breaks through and we're going into a downtrend. Those are the three things that can happen here. So I'm just waiting to see what price does. Like I said earlier, I don't predict, I just react. So I'll wait and see what price does, and then I react. Yeah, I just said that I would close the London session, so I'm a little weary of that because I usually try not to take a trade right before 3 a.m. because that's when they usually do the stop hunts. That's what London session is known for, especially in London Open. So if I can avoid it, or I get a really good entry where it's right down here and I have a 30 pip stop loss right underneath that other demand zone, then I might take the trade. But usually I try to avoid taking a trade right before London opens. That's usually not a good idea. Let them play with the stop losses and stop hunts and whatnot, and then take a trade, unless you get a really good setup. But like I said, right now I'm still waiting. I still wait and see what price does and what it decides to do. Yeah, exactly. I just wait and see what price does. If I get a nice setup, I take it. If not, I wait. That's all you can do. I made that mistake a lot when I started trading in the beginning. I'm like, oh, it's a good setup and I know it's gonna work out, and I just rushed in and took that trade way too early before I had all my confirmations, and then I paid for it. You know, the Forex market punishes you right on the on the dot. So you gotta learn to be patient. You gotta learn to wait for your setups, and you gotta learn to react and not predict. Nobody can predict the market, not even you. Nobody can. So you gotta wait and see what price does, and then if you get enough confirmations, you gotta react and enter the trade, not before. This could form a W setup here. I still think this is a demand zone with all those wicks. I'm getting to know gold a little bit, so this definitely looks like a demand zone. We'll see. Yes, I like gold because it just is a giant mover. It moves like crazy. So 200 pips in a day is no unusual thing with gold, so to speak. And when it moves quick. That's what I like about gold. 1 minute time frame. Let me see what's going on in the 1 minute. Yep. On the 1 minute, we definitely do have a demand zone here. But it's pushing really hard, and we see a lot of red here, so I don't know. It really tries to push down into the zone here. So far it's holding, but there you go, see? Pushed through. Again, I do not predict, I just react. So that setup is out of the window. Let's see what it does down here. You gotta be patient. And like I said, ideally, what I want to see and what I said before when I looked at GU, you want to see price below not only the blue band, but also below the white band. You want to see come out of both of them. That's what you want to see, the kind of setup. And if it's just like dead space, and dead in the middle of the white band, and I don't like it. And you can see the white band is adjusting to price a lot quicker than the TMA bands in the background, the blue one. So if it comes out of the white band, then that's significant. That's definitely like something like, hold on, something like here. I said that before. See how it like comes all the way out of both bands, and then you can get it going into the demand zone, and then rejections from here, and then your confirmation. So anytime, anywhere you jump in here, once you get the signal, you know, that's a quick 60, 70 pips. And I mean quick. It's less than 30 minutes. And here's the same thing. See, it comes out of the band, out of both bands. Then we get the rejection. Price actually takes off before we get the confirmation. So you can't take the trade here because again, my rule is 30 pip stop loss or less. So I could not take the trade, but then it does come back, and that's what gold tends to do, and rejects right off that demand zone again, and then you're good to go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, and that 1 minute demand zone, that's gone now, see? That's your 1 minute time frame. Went right through it. So I'm going back to the 5 minutes now. I think it's going to push down here. Yeah, you gotta have rules in place. If you don't have any rules and you just go by feeling and or this could be, it's not going to work. And believe me, it's not going to work. I tried that and it's not working. You gotta have set rules. I'm still working on those rules with this template. I have an idea in my head what I'm looking for. I just have to really formulate it out and write it down, and then this is ready to go in my mind. But you have to have rules. If you don't have rules, if you don't know when to get in, or worse, if you don't know when to get out, you're not gonna make it. Then you're gonna be one of those traders like, oh, okay, I got $50, let me just take it off the table. But then it hits your stop loss and takes $200 out of your account. So it's not gonna work over long term. You gotta have a fixed set of rules. You gotta have a trading plan. You have to have an idea when are you getting in, how are you getting in, and you have to have an idea where you get out. Like I said before, if I would have taken this trade here and I see a candle close outside of the blue band and the white band, I would close the trade right here. I know it's gonna go higher because this is still full on green down here, and I know this hasn't crossed the band yet and not crossed the EMA yet, so I know that the actual exit would be here. But I mean, dude, if I'm up over 100 pips with a 20 pip stop loss, I'm gone. I take my money and I run. I'm not sitting on another 2 hours just to get, how many more pips is that? 16 pips for 2 hours? When you just made 100 pips in 2 hours? Nah. If that closes above, I'm out. That's my exit right there. You don't have, I mean, you can, if that's your personality and you want to milk the trade and go all the way to the top, by all means, you know, knock yourself out. Take those 16 pips if that's worth it to you. But if I'm up 100 pips, I'm out. My goal, I don't know if you guys saw that before. I have the spreadsheet here. This is my compounding spreadsheet. I start with $1,000. Max stop loss 30 pips. 10% risk per trade. And then target pips 1 per day is 70. That's what I'm aiming for. If I do 70 pips a day, I'm happy. And you can see after, what is it? After 25 trades, I hit 150,000. My goal is 140,000 for the month. You can do average 2 trades a night or per session. You know, sometimes you only get 1, but sometimes, most of the times you get an average of 2. I had nights last week where I had 4 trades popping up. So it's possible. Okay, let's see what it does here. Again, not a bad area for another demand zone. Yeah, like I said, I came up with those rules and I followed those rules, and tripled my account in 2 months. And that was just without set in stone rules. Now I have set in stone rules and it's working even better. But you gotta have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you have no business trading Forex. And I'm not talking just strategy, how do I get into the trade? You also need to know how to manage the trade. You have to know when to get out of the trade, and you have to know about risk management. Like one of my rules is, once I get into a trade and candle closes underneath the red EMA, which is a 36 EMA, when that happens, my stop loss goes into break even. That's it. If it hits the white band after, 2-3 times my risk, I take half of the trade off the table. If I get a reverse signal, I take the rest off. Like one exit would have been here, one exit would have been here. And then you wait. I would not necessarily, you could take this for a quick 30 pips here. I missed that one. Like I said, I was busy doing something, but then here you get another setup, and then boom. Even if, I know it hit the white band here, even here it's 40 pips, take half off. Put your stop loss above the EMA, and then see what happens. And then it gets rejected by the EMA, goes further down, and I'm sure this pierced the white band again, take the other half off. You don't have to sit through and go all the way down. It's not necessary. If you made more than 3 times your risk, by all means, take a little bit off the table. You got to manage your trade too. You can't just let it run. First of all, you have to protect your capital as a trader. That's your first priority. Not making money. You got to protect your capital so you're not losing. That's your first priority. And like I said, if you take the risk and you enter trade here and you see this closing below the EMA, as a trader, or you should know, that if you're right and it continues down, it will not cross that EMA again. So if you know that, put your stop loss to break even. So you're not taking any unnecessary risk. And then see what happens. And look, boom, down. Take half off the table. Take another half off the table. However you manage it. But you got to manage your trade and know when to at least close part of it and when you want to get out of it completely. That has to be in place. I mean, if you go in without a plan, how do you expect to make money if you don't have a plan? Honestly, Rowan, I think it's going to hit that demand zone here and then turn around. That's my guess. Or, again, like I said, it could form another stair step here. But either way, I think it's going to turn around. I think you're good. It's going to make a scare move down is my guess, especially when London opens. Maybe take a few of those stop losses here, and then it might turn around and push up. Do you have some room to go, Rowan? Because it could dip a little bit more down, so. All right, I'm gonna excuse myself. I'll be right back. I have to use the bathroom real quick. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. Nature call. All right. Yeah, it's pushing down in that zone. You heard me in the bathroom, really? Please tell me you didn't hear me in the bathroom. And that would be a little embarrassing. Okay, well, that was me washing my hands. We leave it like that. Still pushing. Like I said, when it comes to this template, if you guys are interested and want to use it, I really, really look to only take a trade outside of the white band, if that makes sense. So if you're leaving that, if you want to use that template, that's just my thing. I like when my price comes way out of the white band and my entry is below the white band. That's what I'm looking for. I do not like to take trades within the white band. If my entry is coming from outside of the white band into the white band, I set a pending order at the white band and wait for price to come back and trigger me in. Like, let's say, you can see this up here. My entry is in the white band, so I would set a pending order right there and adjust it with each candle, and then I get triggered in right here. That just gives me a little bit better of an entry. You know, yeah, let me make this bigger so you can actually see this. Yeah, see, my entry would be, well, actually I gotta wait for my confirmation here. Yeah, you can probably take that. That's right there. I wouldn't mind taking that. I think I actually caught it late down here, but that looks better. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice, you see the M formation, you have your supply zone here, your exit was here from the other trade, actually. And then you get this bullish engulfing candle. In that case, I wouldn't wait for my bottom signal. I would just put a pending order on the white band, and then I get triggered in right here. See this? Or maybe even a little bit higher because this band moves too. But somewhere around here, even if it's just close to the white band, I would wait until the price comes back there. I would not go in with the price being like 1/4 almost in it. Wait for your better entry and then stop loss up here and then let it go. So the same here now. You know, if I get my setup here, I try to get my price as close as possible to this white band here. That's what I'm looking for. But first I want price to come out of it. And I think that's going to happen in the London session. But they're going to push it down here. I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm just saying. Trying to go through all those scenarios that are possible right now. I would like to have my entry close to the outside of the band or even outside of the band. Yes. You can see when it comes outside, it does form those arrows. I still wait for confirmation. You can't just blindly take those arrows. So confirmation would be here. Okay, this is a confirmation for me, but then price is too high. This is, see, and then I would set my pending order on the white band, and as it comes back, I would take it. And this band was probably right around here at that point because it shifts quickly. So you would have gotten your entry right here, and then you have this rejection candle, which is probably right on the band at this point. So yes, that would be my entry. I would not just go in here and put my stop loss down here, because then you gotta sit through that. That's a scare. So does that make sense? So it doesn't have to be like outside of the white band or right on the white band, on the dot, but fairly close to it. If it goes in like that, I would just wait a candle, and then you can see here that candle goes up again. That gives me a better entry. Then I would take that. That's fine. That's close enough for me. Did that make sense? And yes, ideally I wait for a price to come out of both bands before I take a trade. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes it literally just peeks through a little bit. But in general, the further it comes out of the white, like this here, this is a really nice setup. You see price pushing down like this, outside of both bands, like way outside. Yeah, you could probably blindly take the first bullish candle up if you wanted to, or you wait for the confirmation here somewhere and then take the trade up, which gives you approximately the same entry. But you can see how the entry is way outside of both bands. Yeah, that's the kind of setups that are dream setups. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah, see here, that's almost 40 pips, so I would have not taken this trade. But then see what happens. The price comes pushing out again, and then you get a rejection off here and a bullish engulfing candle. And now my stop loss is under 30 pips, so I would take this one. And then bam, look at this. I don't really know how to explain that, but I try, like I said, if you try to keep your stop loss within 30 pips, usually gold will give you a better entry. You know, technically, oh, it hasn't even confirmed here yet. Okay, so yeah, your confirmation would be actually here. Yeah, then you set your, as it comes up and peaks through, because this white band, you got to keep in mind, this bends as price moves. So this white band was probably right around here, or even a little bit higher. So as you get your confirmation, and you see it peeking out of the band again, that's when you take your entry up here and then put your stop loss up here. It's under 30 pips, and then you're good to go. I hope that makes sense. But you can see like how this, you see how this band moves with price. It reacts very, very quickly. That's why I said up here, this band was probably right here in this area. Let me put a line. Hold on, you can barely see that. Give me a second. Let's make this white. Let's make this 2. There you go. So this band at this point where you get your confirmation here was probably right around here. So you get your confirmation after this candle closes. You get the confirmation, you put a pending order right on the band, and then boom, it peaks out, triggers you in the trade, and you're good to go. Does that make sense? Oh, all right. Now you're leaving, I'm talking to myself. All right. Yeah, like I said, in general, I try to have my entry at the band or outside of the white band. That's my, let me see what GU does. Just curious how that. Let me see. I don't trust it. See how it prices right in the middle of the band? I wouldn't take the setup. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm looking for. This is not the droids you're looking for. But yeah, no, that's... If I don't like it, I won't trade it. Simple as that. Alright, let's go back to gold. Same here with gold, by the way. As you can see, this is in the band, so within the white band. Not looking for a trade here. I wanted to push outside the band and then go up. And it looks like that's what it's trying to do. Setting up a demand zone here, and then you see traders jumping on it, and then 3 o'clock comes around, London opens, and they're gonna push it down and hit all those stop losses, and then they're gonna take off. That's my guess. We shall see what happens. What are you guys trading? Do you have a preferred pair, or you're just looking on any pair? Yeah, GU is a nice pair. It plays nicely, that's for sure. Plus it has a good range too. What is it right now? Let me see. Yeah, it went down a little bit. It's 81 average daily range. It used to be over 100. But I mean, still a good movement. See what I'm saying here? On GU, you don't wanna have anything to do with it as long as it's in there. That's what that white band is for. That's not what I like to see. So you see it coming out of the band. Then you see the support zone. You get your confirmation on this candle. See this? And then you set your pending order to the white band, and you get triggered in right here. And then boom. That's the kind of setup that I'm looking for. And then it just takes off right after. If it's like in there, I don't know. I don't like that. And we had the same here, like a long consolidation, kind of like this. And then all of a sudden get this big push out of the band. Then you get your confirmation down here on this candle. And then you set your pending order to somewhere here, wherever the band was at that point. My guess it was right here that you got triggered in. And then after you get triggered in, it just takes off. That's the ideal setup. That's what I'm looking for. Yep. I agree. And how dead on that is. Look at this. Here and here. Like to the pip. Looks like they're deciding what to do right now. Yeah, definitely would not take a trade in that area. You want to see price make a move in one direction, and then which usually, like, here's a fake move and then they push it the other way. That's how the market makers work. As long as it's in that white band, I don't want anything to do with it. Let's see what gold does. And look where we are, at the old demand zone. So the question is, are they going to push it through, or are they going to bounce back from there? That's the question. Okay, looks like they're trying to take out the stop losses here. So you're gonna see you're gonna see a little push out of the band. They're gonna grab all that liquidity, and then my guess is they're gonna turn around and push it up. And that's probably gonna happen when London opens. They're gonna push it down, and then it's gonna come outside of the band. You're gonna get your confirmation, and then we're good to go to the upside. That's what I'm expecting here. That's my guess. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. It wouldn't surprise me. We shall see what they're gonna do. Yep, now they're trying to push through here. And we're in the zone. Okay, so we got one rejection of that demand zone right here. Oh man, it's like 15 minutes before London opens. I don't know if I would feel comfortable taking this trade. No, I can't take this trade. It doesn't follow my rules yet. It has to be outside of the white band. I think they're trying to induce traders to go long as soon as they push off that demand zone. And then when London opens, they're gonna go down here and grab all the stop losses. That's my guess. That's why I like to see price coming out of the white band. That's usually one of my confirmations. Like here. You see them grabbing all that money. Or here. Or here. Same here. On the other side, same thing. I want to see price coming out before I even consider a trade. And right now it's not out. It's like in the middle of not in the middle, but still in the bands. So I'm not interested. Are they trying to push it down? Maybe this was a reversal here. I mean, yeah, we did make a lower high. This could be a trend change too. Finishing that uptrend. Man, now I'm mad I missed that move. That would have been a nice trade. 100 pips. Oh well. Follow the rules. Now we got another rejection. Yeah, it's almost three, almost London open. I don't trust it. I do not trust it, I'm sorry. That did not come out of the band, and I have a feeling that they're trying to make you think they're rejecting it here and price goes up, and then as soon as London opens, they're gonna push it down. So I'll wait for my push outside of the band. That's one of my rules, so I wait for that. Exactly, better safe than sorry. I'd rather skip a trade if I don't feel comfortable with it. And like I said, it does not follow my rules. I want to see the price coming out, and it's not coming out. Yep, exactly. Yeah, you know, you gotta have, like I said before, a set of rules that you follow, and if it's not there, it's not there. You can't force it, you know. You gotta wait for your setup to play out and give you that edge, and if you don't, then that's not a good thing. You're not putting the odds in your favor. Just patiently waiting and see what's gonna happen if I get my kind of setup. Except what I'm looking for again is a nice push out of that band, like down to here or here. That's what I'm looking for. And then maybe a rejection of one of those zones, and my confirmation here, and then hopefully a stop loss under 30 pips. If not, I just set a pending order on the white band if it's in the band already, or mark it off where the 30 pip range is. And if price does come back into that area and gives me a candlestick pattern or something like that, that would give me a under 30 pip stop loss, then I'm in. That's what I'm looking for. And if I don't get that, I'm just gonna watch. I stay out. I sit on the bench. Here, for example, like I said, this white band bends quickly as price goes up. So that white band was probably just going sideways here with price. But then I remember there was a what is it, demand zone? Demand zone? Yeah, demand zone, a blue zone. And then you get a confirmation here that we're going up. But you're right smack in the middle of the band. So I would do a pending order on the bottom here, and I get triggered in right here. And that's the kind of trade that I take. And then set my stop loss underneath the demand zone, and then it just takes off. So you gotta be patient. It might do the same thing here, giving me a confirmation that we're going up. If that happens, I would still set a pending order on the white band here and just move the pending order after each candle close with the band until I get triggered in. Hope that makes sense. It doesn't look like much, but I mean, you know, that's 10 pips already. That could make it or break it with having a stop loss being hit or not. So as soon as I get my confirmation here that we're going up and really pushing up from that zone, then I'm gonna set a pending order on the white band and wait for it to get triggered. Let's see. But it's like right before 3 a.m. Right before London open. Yeah, even if I get a signal here now, I would not go on a pending order. I would probably wait and see what London does when it opens. I don't trust it. Let's wait and see what happens. So let's push up there. Trading is really boring. It gets exciting once you're in a trade and you see the pips stacking up, but until then it's really boring. But let's just wait and get that Tesla. Okay, one more candle before London opens. I still think we're going to see a push down here. Just in case you're wondering, I have another MT4 open here on another screen because I'm in an odd cat trade on my other account. There's a leftover from one of my EA trades. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the chat, but I actually got a dedicated server because my VPS wouldn't make it anymore, and that new dedicated server decided to completely crap out on me, where it was not even possible to restore the data on the SSD, and I had to manually trade myself out of 5 different EAs with tens of trades open each. So that was a nightmare, and I have one leftover trade that I'm still trying to get out. Everything else is closed. It's just that odd cat trade. I think it was swing EA, if I remember correctly. That's the one that I'm still trying to get out. That was a fiasco. Pushing away hard, but again, it's not following my rules, so I don't touch it. Okay, we got 1 minute until London open. So let me put this other indicator on just to see. 1 second. Where is it? There it is. Some butching here. Okay, let's see what that says. Okay. Craps out of me, really. Come on, there you go. Let me add the other one. Okay, London, here we go. Let's see what happens. Looks like I finally got my entry on that odd cat Aussie dollar Canadian dollar trade on the 15 minutes. That would be nice. Push it back into the zone. bigger. Here we go. So we got rejected twice now from that zone. If I would get bottom indicator confirmation, I would set my pending order on the white band. But we didn't get that confirmation, so we wait. Maybe we get a nice little push outside the band now. Then gold definitely will have my attention. Just grabbing another water. Okay, I gotta take the microphone off. Give me 1 second. I hope that doesn't make too much noise. Try to be careful. Need some fluids. Good thing I took a nap earlier. So good to go for a little while. We're getting a push down here. Makes you want to poke it with a stick, do something. Come on, move. Show me something nice. If you wouldn't have gotten in that trade, my God. No reason to get out yet. Well, I probably would have gotten out when it hits that big demand zone, but that would have been 95 pips right there. It's too bad I missed that one. Anywho, let's just wait for the next setup. Okay, Another rejection. Looks like a W formation. Yeah, that was definitely a nice rejection here. One green. Looks like this is it. Again, my plan, like I said, I don't take trades in the white band, but if this confirms now, I'm gonna set a pinning order right on that white band and move it with each candle close until I get triggered in. That's the game plan. So I don't just enter on candle close when I get the confirmations. I put my pinning order on the white band. Exactly. If it's within the two white lines, I'm not taking it. In the white band, I'm not taking trades. However, we got one confirmation here. So if the other indicator flips to green too, the moment that happens and the candle closes, I will set a pinning order on the white band and wait to get filled. And if I don't get filled, that's okay too. It happens. Yeah, because right now we're almost 38 pips away from the demand zone, or the bottom of the demand zone, so it would be too much for my stop loss. But if it comes back down again after confirmations, then I consider going in. Like I said, I'm still waiting for confirmation though. So right now I don't have all my confirmations. Yeah, I definitely do not want to take a trade when it's right smack middle of the white band. That's not a good idea. Not saying it wouldn't work out, but your stop loss would be way too big because you gotta keep it down in that below that demand zone to be a little bit safer, and then you want it to be within 30 pips, and that's not a given right now, so I can't take the trade. Also, like I said, we still have to wait for the confirmation here anyway. Let's just see what happens. bottom we got 1 out of 2 confirmations here. And got rejected from the EMA. Definitely not a good sign if you want to go long. Let's just wait and see. We did get 2 nice rejections from the demand zone, so that's a nice thing to see. Now, like I said, we gotta wait for confirmation on that bottom indicator to switch to green. This one is already in the zone, that's valid. Actually, let me make this bigger. That's what I usually do. So we can see it better. 5, 5, and those 2, 1 and 1. That's more clear. So this is already in the bright green-red area, meaning that's about to switch. So that's a confirmation, but we need that confirmation here. And once we get that confirmation, then we can set a pending order at the white band and wait until we get triggered in. And in this case, if we do get triggered in here, yeah, we'll probably set my stop loss underneath here. That's still within 30 pips, and I got 2 demand zones in between me and price. So does that make sense? So for now I'm just waiting on the confirmation here. Forex really teaches you how to be patient. And I'm on a 5-minute chart, and I'm already like bored, but it is what it is. My other trade here, the Aussie dollar cat, is also still playing around, still no confirmations. That I have up on a 15-minute. Yeah, and like I said, 80% of the times it really does come back to that white band at some point, and that would make me feel more comfortable to take the trade. Okay, now we get the white arrow confirmation, that's good. It's another confirmation, and now we need this to switch. Well, first we gotta wait until this candle closes. Closing above the EMA would definitely be a good sign too. And we got the confirmation. See, now it's green. We got both confirmations. So now it's at a pending order. Buy limit 33. Oh, gotta do it again. I haven't traded on that account. It's on your account. Here we go. And I set my pending order right there. And on each candle close, I'm gonna move it with the band until I get triggered in. And now we wait. And I only move it on candle close. I do not move it while the candle is still forming. If that makes sense. Because if it comes back down, I don't want to move my trigger price or my pending order out of the way. I want it to get hit. So only once the candle closes, I move my pending order to where the band is at that point, and then I leave it alone again until the next candle closes. And like I said, if we don't get triggered in, that's fine too. Then we don't take the trade. And yes, that is actually a W formation on the 5 minute right here. What does it look like on a 15? Let me see. Oh, that was a huge rejection here. Nice. So it looks good. Now I just have to come back for me. Yeah, once I get triggered in, I'm gonna immediately set the stop loss to 30 pips, or probably right around here if I get triggered in here. Yep, right around that, underneath that demand zone, I would set my stop loss. For now, I just have to wait for me to get triggered in. I do have all the confirmations now. We got the rejection of the demand zone, and we got both confirmations down here. So you're good, Rohan. I just have to wait to get triggered in now. So, and I don't take the trade right there. I wait for the white band to get pierced and me being triggered in at the same time. So now I move it up here, see? And I patiently wait. And again, usually it does come back. Not always, but most of the times. Just remember all those times that you entered a trade with valid signals and everything, and as soon as you enter, price went against you for a little bit. Just remember those times. That's exactly what I'm playing at. And you're like, man, I could have gotten a better entry, and I'm always going to hit my stop loss. And then you're still good, but your stop loss is just too big. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And again, like I said, if it doesn't do what I want it to do, if it doesn't want to play nice, I don't want to play with it, meaning I'm staying out of it. I do not have to take every trade. But if it's playing nicely and it's triggering me in at my price, I'm game, I play. I hope that makes sense. Hi, lady. No. It's okay. It's okay, baby. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's meowing right now. Yeah, I know. What's going on? Did you wake up from your nap? Okay. She's very vocal. Lily, on the other hand, not so much. She likes to purr, and that's it. I know, lady. Actually, two cats. They're from my roommate, though. Lady and Lily. They're both girls. And Lady is the one that is very vocal. She just woke up from a nap and decided to talk to me. Yes, I hear you. I can hear you. I know. She's so cute. Yeah, I like both. I like cats and dogs. I'm an animal person. I love animals. I just hope she's not gonna jump on me because she likes to lay on my chest, and that's right where my microphone is. So you're gonna get the full purring experience if that happens. Looks like it doesn't want to come back. We shall see. That is true. If she's a real lady. Hi, Lily. What you doing, Lily? Oh. Hi, baby. You look tired. Yeah, I think that trade ran away from us. Not quite giving up yet, but the pending order. Maybe. When probably I would invalidate the setup once we pass that old supply zone and it disappears. You could still get in. Like I said, it's still valid because we did change the trend now. So it wasn't indeed a reversal. You could still follow it up with your pending order at the white band. You know, if you look here, so you pushed up, came down, pushed up, came down right here, here, pushed up, came down. So there's still possibilities to get in. I'm just waiting to see if I can get in down there. I didn't really make a rule for invalidation, but you know, right now all we have is a confirmation that the trend is going up. That's all we have. But if you look on each reversal, see here we have a, that's probably not the best example. Let me see. Here you see you have a lot of up and down before it changes. Here even more so. See, here it comes back to I would say that if it does indeed pass those two zones, then I would only get in if it pushes out of the band on the other side and I get my entry there and it snaps back, if that makes sense. Right now it hasn't passed those zones, so it might still come back. Don't ever react on FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't ever. Don't do it. Let the price come to you. Just because price ran away from where you want to get in, doesn't mean it doesn't come back. So you just gotta be patient. Especially gold, you know, gold is a up and down, so it's very volatile. What time is it now? Wow. Like I said, I just don't like taking a trade in the band, even if I do have the confirmation. And sometimes, you know, there's nothing you can do. It just runs off and runs away from you. Then it is what it is. But just because it runs away from you doesn't mean it doesn't come back, which it does a lot of times. Okay, I'm gonna stop pending order up to here. Uh-huh. Interesting, now we got support dots on the top. We might actually get a short here. Oh yeah, I guess I found a good reason to invalidate the trade if it pushes out on the other side. That would be an invalidation for me. Because technically we are on the other side of the TMA band now. See this here? This is the blue lines, dotted blue lines. That's the TMA band and we're on the other side now. Well, let's see if we get a push out here. And then I'm switching to short. My thing is, like I said, I tried to explain that before. I want to see a nice push out of the white bands before I'm even interested. If I get confirmations like down here, I set a pending order. If I get triggered in, great. If not, I don't get triggered in. But if I get a big push out of the band on the other side now, then I'm going short. I know it's not what you want to hear, Rowan. I hope it's enough for you to get out, but that might actually happen, that we get a continuation down. Let's see what happens. Oh. How many more pips do you need, Rohan, to get out of your trades? Rohan went missing in action. Alright, see, now it's pushing out of the band. This could be a short setup. It's definitely pushing out of that side, so probably gonna look for a short here. Now let's see. I mean, we are in a short-term downtrend, so it would make sense. It's not fair. You sit here and wait all day, and then it just takes off on you. However, like I said, it is pushing out of the white one now. So might be interested in a short here, depending if my indicators catch up or not. Yeah, you don't want to chase the trade, like I said. And my rules were not met anyway. It did not come out of the band. It just took off, so that's not what I want to see. But now it's really pushing out of the band, so I'm thinking that this could actually be a short. I hope you get out of your trades, man. Yeah, I think it's grabbing liquidity up there. We definitely have a nice push out of the band now, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm definitely interested now. That means I'm looking for a short now. We also got the resistance dots now on top. It looks like this was just a quick pullback. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're gonna continue down actually. I mean, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm not a pro by all means, but that's the kind of setup that I'm looking for, where I get a nice push out of the band. Yeah, it cleared that zone. That supply zone is gone. Now we get the arrow on top. The only thing I don't like right now is that bottom indicator here is not in the how do you want to call it, bold zone, meaning that's pretty much still, there's a lot of strength behind it still. So I gotta wait for that to cool down. I gotta wait for this to turn back around and hopefully get an entry outside of the band. So that would be nice. So let's say this pushes up a little bit more and I get my what you want to call it, my signal going short down here, and we're still outside the band and way far away from the TMA band, then I'm definitely interested. That's the main thing. You don't want to take a trade right smack in the middle of that TMA band. That is the most important thing. Let's see what happens here. That looks like a rejection. That looks like a rejection. I mean, we're not done yet, but yeah, maybe. Looks like we're going down again. Can't take that trade because this one is not in a, what do you want to call it, switch back down zone. So there's still strength behind it. Yep. Damn. Yeah, this is pretty pushing now. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that I want to see. I want to see it far away from the TMA band and coming outside of the white band. That's when I'm interested. It's really pushing. Yeah, gold got really strong now, so yeah, main criteria for me is that my entry price is outside of the TMA band. That's the main thing I want to see. I would never take a trade right here in the middle, even though this would have obviously worked out, but it's just not what I'm looking for. But now if we get a switch down and we're far away from the TMA band still, I might take a short. And we need a supply zone here too as a confirmation. This could be a pullback, or it could be another push down past this supply demand zone. It's still way far away from the TMA band, so that's good. But I need a confirmation down here too. If I don't get that, I can take the trade. I mean, for every normal trader, we are in an uptrend now. Price is above the EMA. EMA is pointing up. That's what you learn in the textbooks. While I'm looking for a short and actually going past that bottom level here. So it's a little against everything you learn as a normal trader. Nevertheless, you gotta take that into consideration and manage your trade accordingly, meaning if I would take a short here, at the moment it hits the EMA, I would set my stop loss to break even. And then if it pushes past it, then I know I was right and I write it down. If it bounces back from the EMA, then I'm gonna get stopped out at break even. Let's see what it does here. But yeah, now we definitely have a check mark on outside of the band. That's the kind of outside of the band that I want to see. See you later, Jericho. Well, tomorrow in the chat. So I hope we're gonna get a red box here. And then hopefully an entry before we go back into the TMA band. Sorry for those water noises. This gotta be the most boring live stream ever. Come on. Still no supply zone and still no short signal. Now it's almost back at the TMA band. Come on. Gold is not playing nice today. Oh man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. This is not gonna happen tonight. Getting tired. All right, guys. Sorry for that. There was just no setup. It's nothing you can do. There's no setup. There's no setup. So I'm gonna call it a night for today, and maybe have more luck tomorrow. Then try again tomorrow. You all have a great night, and see you later. Good night, everybody.